The honourable member for Saanich Gulf Islands.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank my colleague from Vancouver Island, from Cowichan, Malahat, Langford. I wonder, although it's a little bit outside the scope of C3, one of the places where we see systemic racism is in the use of injunctions. And I know that he will have experienced, as a British Columbian, the use of injunctions to arrest Indigenous protesters. Yet when Indigenous nations go to seek injunctions to protect territory, they're far less likely to be granted one than corporations seeking injunctions to violate Indigenous rights and pursue projects like pipelines. I wonder if my honourable colleague has some thoughts on how we might want to reform injunction law to deal with the systemic racism throughout our criminal justice system.
The honourable member for Cowichan, Malahat, Langford.
Yes, I think the member from Saanich Gulf Islands raises an important point, and I know that she, a couple of years ago, joined with the now mayor of Vancouver, Kennedy Stewart, and we're there to protest the expansion of the Trans Mountain Pipeline. And it's quite interesting to note, as she correctly pointed out, the treatments that corporations get versus Indigenous protesters, who in many ways are there trying to protect what was theirs, what is theirs, what is rightfully theirs since pre-contact. These are their traditional and unceded territories, and it's important that for these projects to proceed, we must have that full consent going forward. It is an interesting question. It's certainly one that I, as a Vancouver Islander, have been rightly concerned about, and I still have constituents to this day writing to me about these specific issues. So I would agree with her that, when we're talking about Bill C3 and the stereotypes and myths that exist that are acknowledged in this legislation, it does allow us to open up a broader conversation about the justice system as a whole. And that's why I acknowledged in my comments that this is a small but important legislative step, but it's important that we follow through with further actions and further commitments to make the justice system much better for all Black, Indigenous, and persons of color because of the discrimination they frequently experience.